Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon, where last time we finished Van's Route 6, and now we have a choice between Rean and Kevin Route 3. Good. And both have 2 additional unknown characters. Let's start with Rean, where the heavens turn. July 11th, 6:05 p.m. Kavadian sites Longlai Pubu.
Whoa! Is that Longlai Pubu?
Oh, incredible. It's easy to see why it's one of the 100 wonders of the Republic.
Remember, everyone, we'll only be here for 20 minutes.
We will be returning to Longlai before 7 p.m., so make sure you're ready to go.
Hey, is the launch happening over this direction?
Yeah, from Zeku's space base, right? It's really close to Longlai, isn't it? Well, I wouldn't say it's close exactly. It's quite deep into the mountain range, especially since we're in the foothills now. From here, the shortest route would be the Southeast Mountain Pass.
Then, can you take us there tomorrow?
Me too! I want to see the rocket from up close! That might be difficult.
Sorry, folks, but no can do. The mountain path has been closed by the authorities. And seeing as there are also quite a few monsters about, I'm afraid you'll have to give up on the idea.
Bummer.
If it's a government lockdown, then it's probably for our own safety. Still...
Don't worry, everyone. You'll be able to see the rocket launch very clearly from the streets of Longlai. I've even seen both of the previous launches myself, with my own 2 eyes.
You have?
Tell us, where can we get the best views?
When we return, you can hire me to take you to all the secret spots.
You sure are a keen businessman. Gotta say, I'm glad this town's got a good view of the launch. It'll make it easier for us bracers to keep everyone safe.
Okay.
All right. Everyone in one piece? Hard to believe that little detour cost us the whole day.
See you around, everyone!
It's up to you guys now. Do me a favor and see it through to the end.
If the need arises, you can still contact us through the garden. May the goddess protect you.
And may Arusha guide you. Stay safe, Fee, everyone.
Later, Crow, Rean. You gents and I will have to do lunch and talk movies sometime.
All right, it's a deal. Looking forward to it. You two stay safe till then, you hear?
Right. From the look of it, you're headed to a pretty harsh place. Please be careful, everyone. We'll do what we can to support everyone in the garden, too. Oh, Mint! Please give everyone back at Thor's an update for us. Yep, sure will.
And there goes the Horvath Hut.
Seems like tomorrow's gonna be a big day for them, too. The Dominions, the Elsheim crew? Almost seems like everyone in that group has their own agenda. Heck, Heiyue too. Though I guess they're all trying to get ahead of the presidential office. They've got that in common, at least. Yeah, the same could be said of Arkwright and Kevin's groups.
You two?
We'd be more than happy to join in on your serious conversation.
But in these circumstances, it's really hard for us to concentrate.
Sorry. I wouldn't have been able to carry you in the soldat's hands safely.
It's fine. It was an emergency.
Though, now that I think of it, I could have just ridden on Clown Soleus.
Guess we better hurry and let you gals out of here, huh?
Hey! Come on, Crow. At least act a little embarrassed.
I know something was up when the girls were blushing, but... Okay. That's one way to do it.
We'll be lucky if we're not discovered until morning.
We'll probably be fine. I'm sure the CID and Republican Army have their hands full. Had we flown straight toward the space base, we'd probably have been discovered and captured immediately.
Yep, though it doesn't look like there's any surveillance.
I've been feeling on edge since yesterday. Why don't we hurry over to Longlai early so we can take a load off? Probably gonna be pretty packed. You did make the arrangements with them, right?
Yeah, but it was so last minute I felt bad for springing it on them out of the blue.
If I recall correctly, you and your family came here for a trip early last year, right?
Yeah, where you met Shizuna.
Oh, Rean! Doesn't your family's Phoenix Wings Inn have a connection with the place here in Calvard?
That's right. It's the most famous hot springs inn in Longlai, Heki Zanro.
Longlai's Hot Spring Paradise.
By that night, it had been a day since we'd left Basel aboard Elsheim's airship, the Horvatat. While doing our best to avoid the surveillance of the Republican Army and the CID, we got in touch with our various allies. Because long-distance communications were jammed, we had our contact exchange info with Elsheim, Heue, and even a reporter from the Tyrell Times.
They told us that a spy planted in Zect Arms, a company under the Society's umbrella, had discovered a shocking truth. Professor Latoya Hamilton, known as one of Professor Epstein's 3 disciples, and a person of integrity, had utilized white orbments known as altar cores, both at the Basel Observatory and the Tower Ruins in Farbert, where she used them to construct systems designed to deceive not only the Republic, but also the world at large. And although we don't know the intricacies of how these systems work, based on all we'd heard and discovered, it sounded like they were causing widespread interference or camouflaging regarding space and time. Incidentally, tomorrow, July 12th, will also be the day of a first manned rocket launch in history. And recently Professor Hamilton was secretly placed on the nation's most wanted list, suggesting she's a threat to the space program somehow. Moreover, other factions have stepped into the fray. This included the Society, with the Angiers and Enforcers making moves all over the continent. It seemed like they were moving forward with their leader's Eternal Recurrence plan, the third phase of a grand scheme. As for the Church, the end goal of Father Kevin, who had been working with us in the garden, had finally become clear. He's known as the Heretic Hunter. While it's not my place to question the morality of his ruthless mission, that doesn't mean I have to agree with it. There seemed to be dissent within the Church, seeing as 2 Dominions are working together with Elsheim, just as their group's plan is entering its climax. Furthermore, we also received information that a mysterious group called the Vestiges is operating in the capital and a northern stopover city. Unfortunately, since we were under intense scrutiny and were already spread too thin, we had to leave them to Arkwright Solutions.
The time came for us to part ways with Elsheim and the Dominions so that they could fulfill their own role. They were headed to the site of a certain tragedy in order to uncover Professor Hamilton's true intentions before judgment was passed on her. For our part, we went to look into the operation we knew as Project Startaker. We made our way to Longlai to get a good view of the space program, which we believe to be related to what Crow and I saw. To the south rose the Ishgal Mountains, which hid the huge basin known as Konlon. That is where the military built their space base, sealed off by Ikaruga for the past 2 years. I was convinced it was there that I would find the land where the heavens turn, as described by my master, Yun Kafai.
And launch day. "7:03 a.m.
I've got a message from our teacher. I'll be waiting for you come the promised day, in the land where the heavens turn.
According to my intel, they'll be patrolling the mountain range until noon.
Was that the 2nd Air Force Squadron? Seems they're not the only unit on the lookout.
Yeah, they're calling it a flight exercise so that everyone will stay calm. But it's pretty obvious they're not just up there for training. We're not the only ones having doubts.
I'd say the fact that people are only having doubts as opposed to outright panic just goes to show how impressive the CID really is. I suppose we can credit their division chief for that. Or perhaps it's Kincaid's skill at work.
Probably more Kincaid.
No denying that. Though I do wonder why they've left us to our own devices.
Been a while since I've seen your morning ritual, but it's still a sight to behold. You're right. It looks really intense at first, but halfway through, it becomes more loose and relaxed. I've seen it a few times before, but it felt a little different today.
Actually.
Thinking about your fellow disciple?
Probably more about Master.
Or maybe you've sensed a certain someone else?
Yeah, another presence. One I couldn't feel at all last night. Maybe he stopped by to join me in my morning practice.
He's dozing off again.
Man, this porridge is delish. Just what I need to get me going this morning.
You really drank your fill last night, didn't you, Crow? So good! You know, if you dip the fried bread into the soup before you eat it, it'll be full of juicy flavor. These black sides are what you call pidan, right? Century eggs? I'd always wondered how they taste. The rich and bitter flavor is actually quite addictive. This Don Bang tastes so good. It's like an egg crepe. Crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside.
It's a bit different from the traditional meal we had last night. Sounds like this is a standard breakfast here in Longlai. And you're right about the porridge. Its rich, nutritious broth reminds me of what my master used to make for me when I was training.
Didn't he come to Ymir to train you every year since you were 10?
You haven't seen him in 6 years, right? Since before you enrolled in Thor's.
That's right. I wasn't even able to meet him during the Civil War or the Battle of Jormungand. It's just been letters and messages. Even if there were several times when I nearly ran into him, apparently. Though, I get the feeling he's been watching over me this whole time. My struggles with my ogre power, all the trials I've had to overcome, including my match against the other me. I have no doubt he's believed in me all along. Believed that I would persevere. I guess I'm just grateful to him.
Rean. Sounds like he's the man who made you who you are today.
He sure is. And soon he'll finally get to see the fruits of all my labor.
The time is nigh. The 8 leaves must come together as one, and cut a path to the land where the heavens turn. It is after your fateful clash with the Black God that you will find your true blade.
I'm sure he has a goal of his own that he's been working toward in the shadows. Something related to the space program.
Ikaruga, the Jaeger Corps known as the strongest in all of East Sumeria. To think this man was the chieftain of such a group.
It seems that once he passed the clan on to the next generation, he decided to train those in West Sumeria in the way of the Divine Blade. Judging by how your sister disciple turned out, he's not just any old man.
Yeah. I heard he helped Arkwright's group yesterday in Inkerville. But he wasn't just there to help them. Apparently, he was tracking down an important lead.
That's all well and good, but let's not forget that it's Ikaruga blocking all the roads to the space base. Taking our mechs will only get the military on our asses. So, what are you thinking we should do?
The rocket takes off at 1 p.m. We need to somehow traverse the mountains so we can see it launch up close. Plus, we need to find out the true purpose of the Excalibur, now that we've inadvertently helped them with the finishing touches. And we need to get to the bottom of what it was Crow and I saw at the observatory.
Boy, our to-do list just keeps piling up. Just remember that even if we get to see the launch up close, it doesn't mean it'll give us any answers.
But if Rean's unclouded eye is compelling him, then I think we should go. After all, that's the same thing that eventually led us to facing the other Rean and finding out the truth in the Retributive Tower. I agree. We should be prepared, though. Things might end up even worse than back then. The fate of Zemuria is at stake. You could say, our world is coming to a crossroads.
Or nothing might end up happening, and then it's all good, yeah? A spectacular show like this isn't something you want to experience secondhand. The whole world's watching.
You're right about that.
We don't have much time, but I'd still like to take a look around Longlai this morning. We need to find a way past the local authorities, seeing as they blocked off access to the mountain pass. I asked some of my contacts to spread around with the brigands here, so there might be some force PGs on the board. I also talked with a guild branch here, and it might be a good to drop by to see what info they can give us. That reminds me, Toa, you mentioned there was an important contact that we may be able to speak with. Bet she meant a certain sly-eyed raccoon we met on the Pantagruel before he hung up his boots. Ah, right, I did mention that, didn't I? I'll try and see if I can set up a meeting with him. Though keep in mind the Republic always provides a CID bodyguard to people of his former station. Ah yeah, I could see how that might present a problem. Guess we just have to wait and see if he replies. Yep, I think they'll get in touch with us sometime this morning. Well, sounds like we got some time to kill. Also for taking a little stroll around town. Or better yet, we could see if anyone's playing Mahjong or join in. We didn't come here to fool around, Crow. Or I suppose it's not a bad idea to restock our supplies while we're in town. Incidentally, we received a message from the Crossbell branch. It sounds as though the garden's 8th domain will be unlocked soon. Got it. In that case, we can log in and check it out if we have time. Okay then, let's move out, guys. Received monk attire for Rean and company. Not now. We do it a bit later.
You like what you see?
Hot pot recipe, Stella, chicken soba, and a gift for fee.
Please come again.
It seems we could connect to the orbital network in incognito mode to handle 4 SPGs. What was the idea would be able to pinpoint our movement in no time if we wanted to? Maybe they don't have a manpower to do that, or maybe they underestimate us enough to think they don't need to? Both, I betcha. Which means we'd better take advantage of that opening. Yeah, we have some time before this afternoon's launch, so let's get a feeling for things here as we go. And as for the Grimgarten... Is something on your mind, Athena? You like this yesterday too. No, you do seem to be in a daze every now and then. With so much going on, maybe she's just a bit tired? No, I got plenty of sleep right now. I'm perfectly well rested. Remember how that terminal holo compiled data on Crow's instructions the night before last? I found some curious information within.
Eos, good stuff with those answers earlier. Just need you to follow up with one more favor. Gather any and all info related to that third possibility.
And once the data is compiled, please transfer it to the terminal you're currently wired to.
Oh, that. You said all the data would take time to analyze. So what's the curious information? Well, it's about the Empire's Black Workshop. To be more specific, the data concerns the Sword of the End and the Homunculi. Really? Are you kidding? But Professor Hamilton was the one who was managing that terminal. Does that mean she was investigating something behind the scenes even during the incident in the Empire? Well, no. According to the data log, it seems to have been from a long time before that. I also have yet to confirm whether or not Professor Hamilton was the one who acquired the data. I see. Why would something like that be on the terminal? It could just be one part of a huge encyclopedia. If it's related to what we saw through the telescope, we better at least keep it in mind. Yeah, and today may give us a better idea on that too. A Black Workshop is in the past now, Altina. It's not a burden you have to carry alone. So don't hesitate to share with us. Or with Millium, Yuna, and the others. Right, of course.
Let's search around. Let's search around.
It's him.
Hey, Orion.
Rise and shine, you sleep okay? Stuff on your end's about to hit its tipping point, I bet. Speaking up of our talk last night, though, we just now secured a route of tact into the 8th domain. Much appreciated. But was a quicker turnaround than expected. Just business as usual when a mind makes. Anyway, I know everything's touch and go for you guys right now. But we can give you at least some support by the garden, so yeah. Bring your A game, alright? Thank you for your concern. We'll continue participating in the recapture effort when the opportunity arises then. 8th domain has been unlocked. Okay, just quick shopping.
I knew this place was going to be busy for the launch, but it's straight up packed.
That'll just help us to blend in. We should be able to get some of those Longlai sweets too, right?
Yeah, we'll have to check them out.
Well, I suppose we should take a break while we have a chance.
What'll it be?
Fluffy black manto. Hot spring egg?
Thank you.
How about a souvenir to remember the launch by? Hey there, what would you like? Come again.
Hey, stop on by! What can I get for you?
Matcha. What? Ice pop?
Thanks a bunch.
He also announced a series of unrelated drills the Republican Army has planned in the same time.
What can I get for you?
Paintbrush for Altina? Well, next this is normal stuff.
Hope it's to your satisfaction.
Ah, and the tourists are here as well.
Performing search.
Running a search.
Hey, you want a good view of a launch? Then head up to this viewing platform. Originally I planned to charge for it, but since I'm such a nice guy, I'm gonna let you go up for free. So how about it? 5 bill coming up.
When's it gonna launch?
Oh. Yen. Oh, are you all travelers? I'd guess from the way you look, you came from the Empire. Well, you're not wrong. You're here to see the rocket? Looks like you found the perfect spot. Indeed, it seems this place has the ideal view. According to the program, you'll be able to see the rocket take off from between those two mountains. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be a nice memory to take with me to the afterlife. You still look healthy to me. Did you come here by yourself? Yes, my son and granddaughter were busy. But after this, I meet up with some old friends and have a good time. Since you've come all this way, I hope you get to see the launch from a good spot too. Yes, so do I. He reminds me a little of my master. This old man?
When's it gonna launch?
Yeah, this is Gian. But of course, Rean's team doesn't know that.
These are the most recent reports on the road.
But this is Gian Lu.
Over there. No, the other side.
Oh, welcome. My stuff, I'll be waiting for you. My stuff can't be beat.
Gift for Crow? And a gift for Toa. Also, new weapons. It's time. I want to look if the garden has something else first before I buy this for fee.
I'll be waiting for you.
Do that. And
I'll be waiting for you. My stuff can't be beat.
Weapons. If it wasn't cost
I'll be
material
waiting
plus,
for
I
you.
would buy it in a heartbeat, but I have so few of that.
We should stake out a spot.
Let me know if you need anything at all.
Shunsui no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Sober and
Come back
Mighty is
anytime.
okay.
Let's search around. Shard searching.
You, over there, come take a look.
Glad we got here early.
Looking is always free, you know.
Huh?
Come again.
Good. When...
Seems like a good spot to fish.
Let's give it a go.
Have everything here?
Running a search.
And I remember... just another dragon trout, huh? It put up such a fight I got my hopes up. Oh, stop it, Kyle. That's still plenty impressive. I've never even seen one that big before. Just another thing we have that fishing rod Van gave us for to thank for. The Hebo Godrod, to think it would end up in the hands of you, young bloods. However, there's still a fish's affinity for a given rod, no matter how legendary to consider. So you're saying I need a different one to catch this place's guardian? But what rod could possibly measure up to the Hebo? Oh, you there. With your dark hair. You look to be quite a fisherman yourself. Me? But of course, your comportment, your chi. They say you're surely a capable angler. Not to mention your curiosity is piqued, no? Come, come. No need to be shy. I see, so you're from the Empire. You seem to have a good handle on that first-rate fishing rod then. Well, I've doubled here and there for a long while, so... What's more, your postures... Not to be presumptuous, but are you perhaps a practitioner of the 8 leaves, 1 blade? How could you tell? Sharp observation there, almost too sharp. No need to get up in arms. I'm Kukai. Nothing more than an old codger seeking to climb to the peaks of the piscatorial arts. But having an acquaintance of sorts among the 8 leaves, I was able to make an educated guess by the air about you. By acquaintance, he couldn't mean... Could he? Kukai, was it? Why exactly did you call me over? Well, to invite you to fish, of course. You've taken an interest in this Guardian of Longlai too, I can tell. Now that I look again, though, knowing your style of swordplay, you wouldn't happen to be Rean Schwarzer. I am, but how do you know about me? I may not look it, but I've mixed and mingled with anglers all across the land. You've made a name for yourself in our community, so word of you has been reaching my ears for some time now. Wait, Rean Schwarzer? You're the Rean Schwarzer? The same guy who landed the Grand Lake Lord in Erebonia? Look at you, building up international fame. And not even as the Ashen Chevalier. I did hear that the Imperial Fishing Club has begun to establish an online presence as of late. Yeah, you can read newsletters from a whole bunch of different associations on the OrbelNet. I'd say a fair few circles then know you as Erebonia's young fishing king. I've got mixed feelings about that reputation spurting behind my back. But that aside, it feels like you had a more concrete motive for calling me over. Very perceptive. The truth is a certain someone told me of your impending trip to Longlai. They even requested that I invite you to fish for the Lion King upon your arrival. Understandable, really. A fellow fisherman like yourself could hardly resist the intrigue. It sounds as much like a test as it does an invitation. I have my reservations, but should I accept? No need to hesitate. Just be true to the angling aficionado within. Sure. A veteran fisherman named Master Kukai challenged me to fish up the Longlai Guardian. While I was intrigued by the prospect of putting my angler skills to the test against the Guardian, what interested me more was that someone specifically asked Master Kukai to issue me this challenge. This makes me wonder if it's some sort of test or if there's some other motive at play here. Either way, I'll never say no to a free excuse to cast online. Alright then, maybe this too is fate, in more ways than one. I'll do it, both to test my mettle as a fisherman and to learn or that certain someone intends by this. I thought you might say that. So, care to fill us in on this local guardian, old-timer? A Lion King, right? Yes. It is a form only a scant few dragon trout in these waters take after surmounting umpteen years of battle and bouts. They are said to be twice as large as their standard counterparts, with an appearance not unlike a lion's, as you might guess. We've been trying to catch one ourselves. Kyle especially, now that he's gotten a decent handle on our legendary Hebrew god rod. He was so scared it never happened when Van and them first gave it to us. Van's crew, huh? What are the odds? It's true that I have a hang of this now, more or less. You've managed to hold up some decently sized dragon trout. But as far as Lion Kings go, not so much as a bite. I suppose that means there really is something to be said for matching specific fish to the right rods? Precisely right. Best suited to the Lion King is another god rod made in the old Eastern Empire's time, the Taigong Wang, which figuratively we translate to avid angler. It lies hidden someplace here in Longlai. Before all else, you must track it down. Avid angler, where have I heard that name before? Can't you just say where it is instead of giving us a rundown? A runaround? No, this will do just fine. It just means my test has already begun. Am I right, Master Kukai? Quick on the uptake, aren't we? There's but a single tidbit I can relay for now. First, search for a tome protected by 2 stone sentinels. There you should find your next step. I too have been told nothing more. The Taigong Wang must be uncovered by your own efforts. A tome protected by 2 stone sentinels? That sounds like a riddle of sorts. So something that's true will take us to the next, all the way until we reach that fishing rod. Feels a little more like a scavenger hunt than a test. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. It's almost nostalgic, actually. Well, we have our jumping off point, so let's get to it. Step 1 is to find the tome protected by a pair of stone sentinels. Good luck, guys! Show us how to land a Lion King like a real pro.
I've got your back.
Stone sentinels. Oh.
Over there. No, the other side might have a better view.
Temple? These must be the 2 stone sentinels. As of a tome they're protecting. Maybe some book in the temple is our hint? About these line statues, by the way, they originated in the East as a form of protection against evil. Well, shall we head inside and speak with a Vicar?
Oh, Heavenly Mother, hear my words.
You'd like to examine one of the books in our temple? That's perfectly fine, but whatever for, if I may ask. Actually, we're searching for a fishing rod that's been hidden away someplace. We were told the temple would have a tome that'll point the way for us. Fishing. Come to think of it, it was that book we received as a donation the other day. Indeed, that's the only one I can think of that might be relevant. Excuse me a moment while I go and fetch it. So what's the story with this book? It appears to be inscribed with Eastern characters. An elderly fellow donated it to our temple not too long ago. It provides a comprehensive look into Eastern fishing culture, from its history and conventions to the issues it faces. Yes, the man said he hailed from the East himself and wished to pass down this knowledge to future generations. Well, anything in there feels off to you? Nope, the text itself is pretty standard telling of Eastern fishing customs and industrial practices. It seems handy as reference material, but not much else. Aha, this is probably it. Rean put a single sheet of paper tucked between the book's pages. The next clue rests at the foot of a Longlai tree that evokes a journey to the west. So that's our next hint, huh? Then let's get a show on the road and... Hold on, there's something written on the back. Oh, you're right. Let's see here. The 8 wizards traveled to western lands, one carrying in hand a godly rod made in the age of the old empire. Is this the Taigong Wang's origin story? Apparently so. The way it's written implies the rod was originally used in the East, where the Holy Eastern Empire once existed. It was brought to the West by 8 wizards, though. Can't mean the magic kind, right? Sounds lofty and all, but what's it got to do with fishing? Maybe we should ask the old-timer about it later. Circling back to our next clue. Longlai tree that evokes a journey to the west. Mean anything to anyone? The word Longlai would indicate that the tree we seek lives to a considerable age. Maybe it could be a pine tree? In the East, they're considered auspicious symbols of eternal youth and long life. That still leaves the evokes a journey to the west part. Let's look for a pine tree that fits the bill.
Oh, Heavenly Mother, hear my words.
Over there. No, the other side might have a better view.
First manned spaceflight.
Is this what they call?
A Longlai tree that evokes a journey to the west. The westernmost tree in town would be the spine, wouldn't it? It even has branches extending west down the river, like it wants to travel that way. Then what are we waiting for? Let's stick around the base and see what turns up. The Taigong Wang awaits its new wielder in a place of repose seated before the great water dragon clan. Looks like it's the last hint. The next location should be where we find that god rod. Just one more step away from our goal then. The great water dragon clan, as far as local landmarks that fit that metaphor go... Longlai Pubu. But there's something on the back of his paper too. One wizard of the 8 relinquished the Taigong Wang in the west, aiming to draw out its latent potential. Thus does the god rod cross from one worthy angler to another, as if though a will of its own. Giving the thing away so a string of randos can use it is one crazy stab in the dark. But according to this, it only passes over to people who are fit to wield it. Wait, so when the head of a fisherman's guild... Mr. Fisher was nicknamed the Avid Angler, which is what Taigong Wang translates to in the West. It's possible what itself came into his ownership at some point then. Perhaps that is when and how he gained his title. I still think the fishing rod hopping from one worthy angler to another is off the walls. It might sound far-fetched, but it isn't impossible. There are plenty of tales about stories weapons being guided by fate into the possession of those deserving. Maybe a similar thing can happen with fishing rods. So following that logic, if Rean actually managed to get his mitts on this Taigong Wang, then we can take that to mean he's been deemed the next chosen one. That's a kind of embarrassing way to put it, but I'm not against the idea. All the more reason to live up to the privilege and catch that guardian, no matter what.
Let's vamoose!
A full dungeon? Oh, no, not really. Not this episode. I would have liked to finish this quest this episode, but when I have to cross a full dungeon, it feels a bit too long for
So many people.
what we have left in time.
So this is where people are watching the launch. Some of them have been sitting here for days.
It'll be a moment for the history books for sure. Here's hoping we can grab closer seats.
Right. We just have to find a way to make it happen.
Good. Looks, Bracer Guild. Is that you, Closer? I heard a bit about the situation within the guild, so these must be the people from Falls. Yeah, sorry to show up out of nowhere. I'd appreciate if you could catch me up on the current situation in Longlai. We've heard that the excitement has created too much of a burden for the guild. Well, that's one way to put it, yes. The reality is we no longer have anything to do, and not really by choice. I guess it doesn't really matter how many tourists are there. A city of this size can mobilize enough of police officers to handle it. The police alone can probably handle most things, including problems among travelers. The government's been seizing every opportunity to take the initiative. It's obvious what they're planning. Not even the guild is permitted to touch anything related to the space program. It is a highly confidential government project, but... So you've been prioritizing the capital when deploying bracers? Yes, Kazan is still there, as requested. Renton is here in his stead, since he's used to handling travelers. It would have been reassuring to have Kazan here too, in case of trouble in the Ishkar Mountains. But nothing under the guild's jurisdiction could possibly happen there in the first place. Alright, I think I've got a handle on the situation. The police have completely blockaded the mountain pass leading to the Ishkar Mountains. Not to mention, Ikaruga's involvement in the program has become something of an open secret in the guild. Correct. As long as we're stationed in Kunlun, no monsters or external forces will be a threat. Which means we at the guild can only deal with things within city limits. I can guess why the Divine Blade of Ash is here now. But you understand our situation. Our hands are tied. There's just nothing I can do to help you reach Kunlun, I'm sorry. I do have to wonder just what it is you think we're up to, but I'm glad you're as sharp as ever, Drusilla. It's quite alright. The last thing we want to do is drag the guild into this. There must be a way through, a way to navigate even a situation like this. Maybe even an opening caused by the tension? We've come to that bridge and it's time to cross it. To do whatever we need to keep moving forward. Yeah, it's do or die time. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm partial to a former. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but these young people don't know how to give up. All I can do is pray that fate will be kind to them.
Shard searching.
Goddess, it's so...
Force. Aramis. Oh, are those students? I think I recognize that uniform. Yes, we're students from Aramis Academy. Oh, it's Miss Toa. It's nice to see you, Miss Toa. Nice to see you too, Miss Leifer. I'm glad everyone seems to have made it to Longlai safely. Wait, I thought you weren't coming with us on this field trip? I think she's in Longlai with Force in the NGO. That's right. Which would make him the Ashen Chevalier? Julian's teacher from back in the Empire then. Yeah, I'm Instructor Schwarzer from Force Military Academy. It sounds like you've been looking after Julian. Oh, not at all. You're the one who's done so much for him. I think every student who knows Julian would agree. So he's proud to be a Force student, is he? His grandfather, former General Van Dyke, must be very pleased. Julian couldn't come because something came up suddenly in the capital, right? Yeah, someone reached out to me about it this morning. Apparently I hear the details later. Wow, this is that famous Ashen Chevalier? A hero of a Northern War? The man next to him is a hero too, so cool. The silver-haired lady and the other girls are idols themselves. I'm a huge fan. So it seems you're taking up your time. Alright everyone, I hope you make the most of that field trip. Will do! After the Aramis students dispersed to various parts of Longlai for different purposes. Oh, could that be the important contact you mentioned earlier? I bet it is. I asked the director of the NGO I work at if I could put me in touch with... wait, this isn't the number I recognize, huh?
Pardon me. Am I speaking to Toa Herschel? I'm reaching out to you on behalf of Director Poisson.
I know that voice. It seems to be someone from the CID's Integrated Analysis Division, to which Mr. Kingcat belongs. That department said to be a top secret part of the CID. Could this person be... Yeah, it's Kalika, obviously. Yeah, I think you're right. She might be the lady we heard about before. Okay, sorry for putting you on hold. Yes, this is Toa Herschel speaking. It's been a while since we last spoke, although I admit I'm surprised to be hearing from you of all people. Based on the caller ID, can I assume this is an official call from the department?
There's no need to be so cautious. As it turns out, I'm in Longlai as well. Excluding the personnel stationed at the space base itself, there aren't any CID staff in the area. So if it's easier for you, you can drop the pretenses.
I understand, then it's alright if you stop by, right? Officially, I'd be visiting as an NGO member, but I hope it's alright if I bring a few staff members along.
Of course. 4, right? I'll have some people I would like to introduce you to as well. President Rocksmith and I will look forward to your arrival.
That sure was nerve-wracking. Was it a flying swallow? The woman renowned throughout the intelligence world? Why would she be calling us? She's an old friend of Zin's and she used to work as a guild receptionist. Back then she was headhunted by the former president and joined the organization that's now the CID. I got it. And it's because of that connection that she might be acting on her own. I once heard from Jellica that she's even more freakishly capable than what people say. That's hardly a surprise given she's a master of a Taito school and Angelica's teacher. We need to make sure we're ready for our meeting with her and the people she's introducing us to. Yeah, once we're done here, let's head up the hills to the east.
Dear goddess, it's so crowded here.
The town's steeped in Eastern culture. Why don't we go sightseeing while we're here?
Confirming contents.
We'll have live feed of the launch.
And who are you? I can't find him anywhere. That's what I'm to do. Is she looking for someone? I don't remember the guild getting any missing person requests, and could be there's something about it she's rather hide. If so, it might be a case fit for a Spriggan. Shall we offer ourselves as proxies then, as we did in Basel? Well... Pardon us, I don't mean to pry, but is something the matter? Who might you be? Rean and the group explained that they're taking on force duties on behalf of Arkwright Solutions. I see. In that case, you may be just the people my sorry self can turn to. Sensing a lot of layers behind that sentence. You could say that I'm the lowest of the low after all. 2 years ago I abandoned my son, my own flesh and blood. You abandoned him? I get the feeling there's more to this story. Yes, you see, I was originally born and raised here in Longlai. Northern culture always interested me, however, so I left home to work in Messeldam. There I met the man I would come to wed, and 12 years ago I became pregnant with our son. At the time I thought we'd be able to build our happy family up together, but 3 years later my husband fell ill and passed. That must have been extremely painful for you. Yes, but there was no time to grieve, not when I had a son to raise. I would even take on nightlife work just to put food on the table. The mental anguish wore at me, however, and before I knew it, I'd begun taking it out on my poor boy. It was then that he started to rebel against me. I'd also remarried several years ago, but the man only grew more violent with time. It drained me down to the very last drop. And then what, you sent your son away? Not quite. The government provided a minor subsidiary for childcare, blood-related or not. Knowing that, my now former lover raised his hand to me again, saying I ought to be the one leaving instead. And so I relented, returning here to my hometown, head hung low. I see. Can't say empathize, but I think we can spare some sympathy. Ah, she will be the mother of a... Jet, I think, from Messeldam. He is part of that tourist group with his friends and the old granny who now adopted him as of a chapter 1 of Daybreak 2. If only my son and I had fled together. Looking back, I regret it from the bottom of my heart. On top of that, I heard news about him through a Septian church. Apparently he had run away from her ex-husband several months ago. Became a bit of an ordeal, after which he ended up getting adopted by someone else. With that, I figured my role in his life had come to an end, that is, until... You found your son here in Longlai? Yes. At first I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks. but when I called out and his gaze went mine, he actually recognized me. It wasn't a moment after that he ran away. I should have expected that much. It's only natural. The sight of his despicable mother must have been more than a boy could stand. Even still, it's worrisome that your son is nowhere to be found. Yes, he looked so hopeless, there's no telling what might happen. I'd like nothing more than to start over with him, if at all possible. But perhaps it's simply too much to hope for. What's the kid's name, by the way? Jet. It's Jet. Jet. Now that she mentioned it, I may have heard his story doing my NGO work. Vaguely remember the guild having intel on it too. Van & Co stepped in on the situation, I think. Mr. Arkwright. Yet another one of life's little coincidences. For the time being, we'll try and track Jet down and confirm his safety. Thank you so much. To start, I'd like to get a grasp of why he came to Longlai in the first place. Probably to check out the sights, right? There are tours going on these days. That seems likely to me. And since he's still a child, his new guardian's probably with him too. Sounds like a decent enough starting point then. Yeah, let's find a tour guide and see what they know. Thank you and good luck.
Alright, let's get cracking.
Good. But I would end the episode here and we continue this next time with 2 quests. Until next time, I'm Ace and don't get lost.